Today, we are joined by the insightful and deeply intuitive Gabriela Popescu, whose work bridges ancient wisdom with modern understanding. Together, we are diving into the intricate landscape of the four bodies: physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual, and how each one demands a different kind of attention in this fast paced world. This conversation promises clarity, nuance, and a fresh lens of what it truly means to be whole. Welcome to the show, Gabriela. It's such an honor to have you.
Thank you so much. I'm really excited about this topic and being here with you today.
Yeah. So, Gabriela, what do you feel is the most misunderstood aspect of the four body framework in today's hyper modern environment?
I think there's a lot of misconception around if you address one, like let's say meditation, that all the other three bodies are going to align. And it just doesn't work that way because we are a very complex system. And e- it's important to work with all of them because they're all interconnected. So you cannot have just one body just dealing with the spiritual, but also deal with the mental, emotional, and physical. You know, there's a trickle down and trickle up effect between the four bodies. So let's say if you eat really crappy and you don't exercise and then you meditate, your results may be a little small and you may not have the impact that you desire to have.
Yeah, that does make sense. But do you think this misunderstanding is accidental, or is it a product of how society has been shaped recently?
Oh, absolutely. It is absolutely a byproduct of how society is shaped. And, you know, um, I often I often see this meme out there. I don't know if you've seen it too, on social media where you have a line and there's two lines. The one line is people that want a pill, a quick solution, and the line's full. And then on the other side, you have lifestyle, and there's just one person. I think it takes a holistic approach to achieve wholeness and to achieve harmony in your life, and it's not a quick fix. And in this society where we want instant gratification for everything, from connection to Amazon and to all this quick delivery, it just doesn't work that way when it comes to the human body.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that perspective reveals how deeply our environment shapes our inner architecture. And it sets the stage for exploring how people can reclaim a more conscious balance. So, how do you personally discern which of one of the four bodies needs attention first when someone feels overwhelmed?
It depends really because, we're all unique individuals and we all have different things going on. We may have a stronger connection with a couple bodies where the other two bodies have never been explored. But I find that the emotional body is one of the most challenging bodies that people are dealing with right now because either of cultural upbringings, right? I'm Romanian. I was born in Romania. I've lived 16 years there. So that was my formative years. And then I moved to the US. And it's, that whole like mentality, respect your elders, behave, never show emotion because that means you're misbehaving and you're doing something wrong. And I think not being able to or learning how to express your emotions uh, in a way that is safe for you and others is extremely detrimental because we're then internalizing, all the anger, suppression of all these negative emotions. And then it trickles up and trickles down into the other bodies.
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely. And have you found that people tend to ignore the same body repeatedly, almost like a blind spot?
Yes. And it makes sense, right? Because the same way you work a muscle at the gym, right? If you're exercising certain muscles, but then you've never exercised your emotional muscles or your mental muscles, it's foreign. It feels strange at first. And unconsciously, we choose what is easy, the path of least resistance. So, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, and it's fascinating how patterns repeat until we become aware of them. And your insight shows how subtle yet transformative that awareness can be.
Yes, absolutely. And, with the mental body is also something that people don't explore to the full depth that it could be explored. Between the ages of 0 and 7, we create our beliefs and we make sense of the world. And if your belief is the world is not safe, or I can't trust people, or I'm not good enough unless I produce, or unless I get good grades, etc., then you carry those beliefs through the rest of your life. And unless you stop and really dissect if those beliefs are really true anymore, and if they're not true, choosing which belief you want to believe and then taking action to plug in that new pattern and that new belief to support you in reaching your goals.
Mm-hmm. Yes, definitely. And in your experience, which body is most impacted by modern lifestyle pressures? Technology, pace, social dynamics, and why?
Again, it's subjective to the individual, and it really depends. Uh, I believe that the emotional and mental bodies are the most impacted because, again, they're not the most exercised muscles. And depending on where you are in the world, you may have a strong spiritual body because that's culturally taught, right? And that is something that you get born into. While in other cultures, the mental may be more exercised, but even then, if it is exercised, it's not exercised in the way of looking at your beliefs and how you talk to yourself, what you ingest, right? Like media, who you hang out with, and the influences that the people around you have. So I would definitely say the mental and emotional.
Mm-hmm. Yes, 100%. And do you believe we are moving towards greater imbalance collectively or towards a new kind of equilibrium?
I think as a collective, we are definitely progressing. A lot of people are waking up more and more, and it's great. And I think it's important that they choose the right mentor to guide them on that journey. Because I also, it's great that people are waking up, and there's a percentage of the population that doesn't know what to do with it, and it becomes overwhelming. It becomes something negative when it doesn't need to be. So making sure that you have the right support system is super important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that angle brings a refreshing tension into the conversation between chaos and evolution, and it also invites listeners to witness their own tendencies in real time.
Yes, 100%. And, transformation or awakening or choosing to elevate your life doesn't have to be hard. It could be very simple. You take one step, you start building one habit, and then for 21 to 41 days, and then you move on to the next. It doesn't have to be all at once because that could be overwhelming to the system and it's not really realistic, right? We have so many other things going on in our life, and setting time for ourselves and really taking care of ourselves and teaching others how to interact with us in a way that's supportive and healthy to us is paramount.
Yes, totally. And how can someone begin healing across the four bodies if they're starting from a place of exhaustion or confusion?
Because they're very simple, you know, with the physical. For example, just choosing to go for a 10-minute walk every day and choosing to eat, to start your day with protein versus, sweets or anything that is not really supportive to your mental and physical health in the beginning of the day could be very impactful. And for the emotional, um, just taking stock of your emotions, right? And really being a like being your own detective and exploring, why did I feel that way? Why did I feel sad? Or why did I feel angry by what that person or individual said to me? For the mental, just taking 5 minutes and just being in silence, just being still and being present with yourself. And then starting to set boundaries with people that don't understand where you begin and where they end, right? And then for the spiritual, if you're not if you don't pray, then maybe setting an intention for the day. Every day, setting an intention. Today, it's going to be a great day. My body's going to be nourished. My spirit's going to be happy. And I will get the things that I need to get done without feeling overwhelmed. The simple steps, it doesn't take much. And it could be so, so impactful.
Yeah, that's amazing. And is there one practical step you have seen consistently help people return to themselves quickly?
Yes, breath work is free. It's simple. There's a million types of different breath works out there, and it could really reset the parasympathetic nervous system in an instant. Just taking 5 minutes and doing alternate nostril breathing. That's a great one if you're feeling like you need to do a release, like maybe doing some Kundalini yoga, the breath of fire, or Wim Hof breath work. And YouTube has a multitude of videos on all of those different techniques. And it it's very simple. It's simple, it's free, and you could do it anytime you feel overwhelmed or stressed.
Yeah. And that simplicity in that approach makes the journey feels accessible, even for listeners who feel far from grounded right now.
100%. Yes. And yeah, you brought up grounding. Grounding is another way to just reset. And I know that some people that have not exercised the spiritual muscle have a tough time connecting, but you don't have to be with your feet on the grass. You literally just set an intention to have two golden cords come out of your feet into the earth, 10 to 12 feet into the earth, and just connecting with Mother Gaia. And with each breath that you take, releasing any negativity or stress into the earth. And then with each inhale you take, inhaling the calming and grounding energy of the earth.
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely. And also, do you see the four body model becoming more mainstream as people search for deeper meaning, or will it remain a more niche framework?
Well, my intention is to get it across to as many people as I can. So, and I know I'm not the only practitioner that uh, talks about this or has mentioned the importance of the four bodies. So my trust is that it will be mainstream.
Yeah, makes sense. And if it does become more mainstream, what risk or distortions do you think might come with that?
That's a great question. I think then this I've seen this with people, friends, clients. Sometimes we could become very religious about it. And when I say religious, I mean, dedicating like 2 or 3 hours a day to do it. And if you don't do those 2 hours, then like your day is not working out. It doesn't have to be that complex. I think the one thing that may happen is that people may become too stringent and too strict in making sure that they have to get all those things done, but it could be simplified. It doesn't have to be tough or hard. And like I said, just taking it one step at a time, one habit at a time.
Yeah, that honest evaluation adds depth and reminds listeners that wisdom evolves best when held with integrity rather than trendiness.
Absolutely.
Mhm. So, thank you so much, Gabriela, for painting such a vivid map of our inner worlds and offering pathways that feel both ancient and refreshingly relevant. And for everyone listening, this is your invitation to observe your four bodies with curiosity, to honor what calls for attention, and to take even one small step towards genuine alignment. Your wholeness is built choice by choice. Begin yours today.